So, thinking about getting your Arizona CCW permit, smart move. It's something a lot of folks are considering these days, but let's be real. Jumping into all these permits and laws can feel like you're trying to decipher a code or something.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot to take in, that's for sure.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive today, going through some of the latest info on the Arizona CCW so you can feel confident about the whole thing.
Exactly. We'll cut through all the noise and clear up any confusion.
Think of it like this. Imagine you have a buddy who just got their CCW, right? And they're walking you through it all. That's what we're aiming for. So first things first, who can even apply?
Great question. Like, let's say you're totally new to this. You have to start with eligibility, kind of like a job application.
Makes sense. You wouldn't want to go through the whole process only to hit a wall at the end, right? What are the biggies?
Well, Arizona has some rules, just like other states. The Arizona CCW Online source, they make it super clear age is a big one. Got to be 21 at least.
Makes sense. Got to be mature enough to handle the responsibility. But I think I read something about military folks.
Good catch. They do have an exception for active U.S. Armed Forces. They can actually apply at 19.
Interesting. It's almost like that military training factors into it. So age is covered. What else should people keep in mind?
Citizenship is huge.
Yeah.
You got to be a U.S. citizen or have that green card, the permanent resident status with the 10-year card.
So you're establishing that legal right to have a firearm in the first place. And of course, criminal history's got to be a factor, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. They really hammered that home in the sources we looked at. They do some serious background checks, and if you have certain convictions, automatic disqualification.
So we're talking felonies, domestic violence, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And they made it crystal clear, unless that conviction is expunged, like legally erased, or your rights are restored by a court, you're probably out of luck.
Gotcha. What about other things like substance abuse or mental health? Do they look into that?
Yep, that comes up in the background check, too. The source mentions prohibited possessor, basically meaning anyone legally banned from having a gun. Could be past convictions, mental health stuff, even a dishonorable discharge from the military.
Sounds like they really covered their bases, huh?
They do. And it's not about making life hard, but making sure that CCW permits go to the right people, folks who are responsible, and meet all the requirements. It's funny because you have all these serious requirements, but then there are all these myths floating around about CCWs that might scare people off for no reason.
Tell me about it. I remember when I was first looking into this whole thing, I thought you had to be some kind of sharpshooter to even apply.
Oh, totally. That's a classic one, people thinking you need to be like some marksman hitting bullseyes to get a CCW.
Right. But get this. You ready for this? One of the things that surprised me going through the material for this was that Arizona, they don't actually require a shooting test. At all.
Nope.
Hmm.
And that's important to remember, because it really changes how people think about who gets a CCW. It's not about being like an expert shooter or anything. It's about being responsible and knowing the law and how to handle a firearm safely.
It's about the knowledge, not just being a crack shot, which I think is smart. And speaking of knowledge, that actually ties into another myth that you have to go to, tons of in-person classes to even think about getting certified.
Yeah, totally outdated. These days, everything's online, and CCW certification is no different.
No kidding. Our source, Arizona CCW Online, made that super clear. Getting certified is actually crazy convenient now.
Seriously. It's amazing, actually. You can do it all online at your own pace, in your pajamas, whatever. Doesn't matter if you're a night owl or an early riser.
Right. Huge for people with busy schedules, juggling work and life and all that.
For sure. That's actually something we wanted to highlight today, showing that learning about this stuff, getting a CCW, doesn't have to be some big, scary thing. It's more accessible than people think.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's say you've checked your eligibility feeling good. You've ditched those old myths about needing to be like John Wick or something, clearing your schedule for endless classes. What does actually applying for an Arizona CCW look like? What are the steps?
Well, Arizona CCW Online, they actually lay it all out really clearly, and they offer a couple of different ways to do it, which is cool.
Oh, options are always nice. Let's hear it.
So step one, no matter what, is getting certified. And like we were just saying, it's all online. They actually have a bunch of different courses too. for like different learning styles and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Like, they really want to make this as easy as possible for everyone. There's the free interactive one, go at your own pace. Then the 3-hour one if you're more like, let's get this done. And then even a one-on-one video call with an instructor, which is pretty cool.
Exactly.
So,
Something for everyone, whether you're more independent or you want someone guiding you through it.
okay, so you found the right course, nailed it, officially certified. What's next? What do you actually have to do?
Then it's application time. And this is where this Arizona CCW Online is clutch. They don't just leave you hanging after the course. They have this whole expedited application service, helps you through every step,
Wait, really? That's amazing. So they're like a one-stop shop for this whole thing.
basically. But whether you go with their service or apply directly through the state, same thing. You need your documents, all the paperwork.
Makes sense. Got to have everything organized. What kind of stuff are we talking about here?
The main thing is that certificate, the one you get after the course. Then it's the usual suspects like photo ID so they know it's you. If you had any convictions that were, expunged, got to have those court documents too. And fingerprints. Can't forget those.
Fingerprints, man. Makes me feel like I'm in a spy movie or something.
Right. Adds a certain official vibe to it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are crucial, for that background check they run. And then, of course, there's usually a fee, but you pay that straight to the state.
So, accurate fingerprints, complete application, those are key. Won't want any delays.
Absolutely. But here's the kicker, and this might surprise you. Getting your CCW, it's not only about, like, self-defense, There's some pretty cool advantages beyond the obvious.
Oh, okay. Now you've got me curious. Hit me with it. What are these perks? Last time, you were telling us about some surprising perks to having an Arizona CCW. What were those again?
Oh, right. One of the big ones is it's called multi-state reciprocity. It basically means your Arizona permit. It might actually let you carry in other states, too.
No way. Seriously. I always thought permits were only good in the state you got them in.
Yeah, you'd think that, right. And it's true for a lot of things, but with CCWs, a lot of states have like these agreements. They recognize each other's permits. So your Arizona CCW is like your golden ticket, You can travel without worrying about running into legal problems.
That's huge, especially with people traveling more these days for work or, just for fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
But got to be careful. Reciprocity isn't like everywhere. And these agreements change sometimes, so it's important to do your homework, Check the laws for every state you're going to before you go.
Gotcha. Don't assume anything. Double check, triple check, just to be safe.
Exactly. Better safe than sorry, especially with this stuff.
Okay, so multi-state carry, that's awesome. What was that you were saying about buying a firearm?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So having a CCW can actually make buying a gun way faster.
Really? I thought everyone had to do that federal background check, the NICS thing, no matter what.
Yep. NICS is always a must. Federal law. But the CCW can speed things up big time. Think about it. To get the CCW, you already went through a whole background check, right?
So it's like they already know you're good to go.
Exactly. You've jumped through all the hoops, passed the background check, so no need to wait forever at the store.
That's super interesting. Makes sense, really, when you think about it. Okay, hit me with that last perk. It was something about where you can carry in Arizona, right?
Right. This one trips people up all the time, especially since Arizona passed that whole no permit required law. People think it means, like, open season carry anywhere, but not so fast.
There's a catch.
The big one is places with alcohol. Even though Arizona is pretty open to concealed carry, if you don't have a permit, you walk into a bar or restaurant with a gun, you're breaking the law.
So even with constitutional carry and all, there are still rules, and the CCW gives you more freedom within those rules.
Exactly. And, that actually connects back to something Arizona CCW Online talked about. It's not just about the right to carry. It's about showing you're serious, that you care about the law and responsible gun ownership.
Like you're going the extra mile to learn the rules, be safe, and be responsible.
Exactly. It's about more than just having a gun. It's about having that responsibility, too.
Couldn't agree more. Wow, we covered a ton today. We talked about who can get a CCW, busted some myths, break down the application process, even found some hidden perks that nobody talks about.
It's been a journey for sure. Hopefully, our listeners feel like they have a better grasp on all this now and can decide what's right for them.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, right? Especially with something like firearms. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. We hope you learned something new and interesting. Until next time, keep those minds curious.